Hello, this is Asatsu5, and hopefully this will be my last Let's Talk Trump video. You all know my feelings on Trump, and I'm not going to promise this will be my last one, but I really don't look forward to making these videos. And I'm going to come out and say it. I feel like I've been betrayed by my political party, the Republicans. I find it really hard to believe anybody that supports Donald Trump can call themselves conservative. And I'll list a few reasons. Calling yourself conservative means that there are certain beliefs that you have that make you conserve the American ideal instead of liberal, kind of changing the American ideal. And one of these conservative views in general is abortion. Donald Trump is pro-choice. In fact, he funds it. And most conservatives do not want the government funding abortions because we believe it's morally wrong. And not only is it morally wrong, but they're selling human parts, basically on the black market. Because selling human parts, it doesn't matter if they're fetuses or not, is illegal. Like selling a shrunken head from South America, it has a lot of legal red tape. It's heavily regulated. It's illegal to sell human body parts. That's pretty much it. And Trump is pro this. Trump is very immature. He automatically talks demeaningly to people who criticize him. If there's a woman wearing a what could be considered a Middle Eastern hat, it's not necessarily a turban, but it's kind of like a sarong or something, wearing something around their head, and they bought Trump rally tickets, he kicks them out. He doesn't let them come in. He lets white people with Trump tickets who are there to protest him in, but if they look like they might be Middle Eastern or Indian, he kicks them out. And if someone disagrees with him, he has so much anger in his heart, he tells his supporters, go punch him, I'll pay your legal fees, which is very immature and is not presidential behavior at all. He's the only presidential candidate I've ever heard talk about his penis size on a debate, which is kind of disturbing to me that he would bring that up. But he's pro-choice. If you don't like Obamacare, why would you like Trump Care? Trump Care is Obamacare on steroids. So Obamacare, at least I can keep my insurance that I have. Trump Care, government pays for everybody's insurance. So if you like one, or if you don't like one, why would you like the other? As far as I know, I never seen him promote guns, so I have no clue if he's going to protect our Second Amendment rights. I've heard he doesn't necessarily care for guns, but that's not important right here at the moment. But he has so much anger in his heart. He makes fun of women. He makes fun of mentally disabled people. He encourages his followers to attack his critics. He partakes in brainwashing, making the supporters swear with their hands up to vote for him, so they would feel discouraged to change their mind. It's just crazy. And let's see, I forgot where I was going with this. But yes, his views are so liberal. I don't see how, if you call yourself a conservative, how you can have these views. He's for big government, which conservatives are generally against that. We think that the power should go more towards the state and not towards the central government. He's for eminent domain. He had 4 businesses go bankrupt, which I don't think he himself went bankrupt, but 4 of his businesses went bankrupt. So I guess I shouldn't bring that up, but it is a fact. So why are we voting for him? And I'm here to tell you, in my last video, I said the only reason I would vote for Trump is because I feel he would be easier to impeach. I changed my mind on that. I'm not voting for him, and I'm not voting for Hillary. I would rather vote for Ronald Reagan in this election than vote for either one of them. It's my opinion that Donald Trump, if given the opportunity, would ask Hillary Clinton to be his VP. They have a lot in common. And the thing about it is, Donald Trump hasn't said anything conservative related at all in any of his debates. He hasn't said anything that relates to us. So why is my party backing him? Just because he says very brash things? He says some things that are very inappropriate. I hate to say it, but he's pandering to the Honey Boo Boo crowd. He is. If you like Honey Boo Boo, then you probably like Donald Trump. It's the same thing. Just because it's lowbrow, brash, inappropriate, people think, oh, he speaks his mind. Well, Ted Cruz speaks his mind, and he does it in a very respectful, pleasant manner. The key to being a good debater and a good leader is being able to tell people how you feel about their policies and their beliefs, and saying it in such a way that you don't hurt their feelings. You're making them think. You're not trying to bring them down. I've had debates with people before, and I'll tell them, hey, this is how I feel. I disagree with you. I'm not cursing you out. I'm not calling you names or anything. I'm simply saying in the most intellectual way possible my feelings. And I'm not automatically saying, oh, you disagree with me, so you believe the lies or whatever. Which I guess I'm kind of saying in this video, you believe Trump's lies. But yes, the only thing conservative about him, if you can call it conservative, is that he's not politically correct. And people think if you're politically incorrect, that automatically makes you conservative. That's not true. I know a liberal that I'm friends with. He is a card-carrying liberal, and he's a good guy. In my opinion, he's a little confused about his beliefs, but he uses the N-word, and he's not using it. He didn't use it in a hateful way, like I hate those whatevers. But there was this strip mall, and it was called the French Quarter. And he goes, "Oh yeah, French Quarter. That sounds way a lot better than the N-word quarters." And that was his comment. He's liberal. Being politically incorrect doesn't make you conservative, and being politically correct doesn't make you liberal. In fact, Ted Cruz, very, very conservative, my guy. Texas claims him, and I'll talk a little bit more of that later. Is very respectful. He talked to a Trump supporter and said, "Why do you hate me? What do you not like about me?" And the Trump supporter was like, "Well, what are you going to do to protect our Second Amendment rights?" And he was like, "I protected the Second Amendment rights in the Supreme Court many times." And then he was like, "Well, what about Trump?" And the Trump guy was like, "Oh, Trump is great and whatever." And then Ted Cruz talked about Trump offering to pay someone's legal fees for attacking a protester, and a Trump supporter could say, "Oh, you're lying again," and Trump's like, "Google it." Trust me, when people say Google it, they're pretty confident in what they believe in. So, and then Ted Cruz said, "You know what's the difference between me and Trump? I know you don't support me, and I come over here and talk to you like a human being with respect. If Donald Trump was here, he wouldn't talk to you. He would tell you to punch one of my guys out for not supporting him." He said, "But he wouldn't talk to you. He wouldn't talk to you man to man. He'll bark orders at you, but he wouldn't talk to you like I'm talking to." And all this Trump supporter could do was smile. He was like, "Oh, you're lying again. Honey Boo Boo crowd." It really irritates me. And you know what? I want to say this. It would not hurt my feelings. I would be so happy if I was wrong about Donald Trump. I would. You know what? I would go on the internet and I would apologize to every single person that watched my video if I was wrong about Donald Trump. That's the truth, but I don't trust him. I don't trust him any further than I can throw Michael Moore or Hillary. They're all in the same boat. They're all untrustworthy. They're all unqualified to be president. And I'm not going to vote for any of them. I'm voting for Ronald Reagan. All right. Here's another important talking point I want to talk about. Donald Trump wants to end citizenship rights to children born in America. This is part of his illegal immigration policy. If there was a pregnant Hispanic who crosses the border illegally and gives birth in America, he doesn't think they should have that child shouldn't have their American citizenship, which I am dead against this. And if you're black, African American, whatever you want to be called, you should be dead against this as well. Everybody should be dead against this. But I'll tell you why. I don't have the date and the amendment on me at the time of filming this video, but way back when, Thomas Jefferson decided that we were not going to import African slaves from Africa anymore. He said we can breed them, but we can't import them into the United States. You can still have slaves, but we're not getting new ones from Africa. You can breed them. Now, these slaves that were being born in America, they weren't considered American citizens. They were considered property. And some time passed, the abolitionists, the Republican Party, decided that if you're born here, then you're qualified to be an American citizen, and you have the rights to public school and all that stuff. So this actually happened, and if you're black, and you can trace your roots to slavery, which is like most of the black people here. There's some black people who immigrate from Africa to here like way later, but most of the black people here in America can trace the lineage back to slavery, and if you can do that, you would not be an American citizen without this amendment. Now, let's speak a hypothetical real quick. Let's say there was a pregnant Mexican woman who came here illegally and gave birth to a boy named Pedro yesterday. Why am I more qualified to be an American citizen than Pedro? We have the same qualifications. We're both born in Texas. I was born in Houston. He could have well been born in Houston, Lufkin, Dallas. We have the same qualifications. I was born here. He was born here. He should have his American citizenship. Now, I will say this. I think that his family should come here legally, and if they get caught, they should go back to Mexico with their child. Don't separate the child. He can have a dual citizenship. There's nothing wrong with dual citizenships. And if the family decides to come here legally, they only have to fill out 2 immigration forms for the woman and the father, and not the child. The child can come and go as they please when they're old enough, but they can get their citizenship legally. And so, yes, if you're born on American soil, you're just as qualified to be an American citizen as any white guy who was born on American soil. I have the same qualifications as Pedro. That's it. I'm Saucy5 and I'm out.